Scripties. Welcome to season 2, episode 18 of Scripts and Screens. I'm Shauna Robinson.
And I'm Shahida Jeffries.
And I'm Imani Nicole. Miss Jeffries is my mom, and she's our special guest this week, guys. So exciting. Shauna, you going to ask me what's going on in the world this week?
Yeah, so what's going on, Imani? What is going on?
So as one couple breaks up, another couple gets together. I don't know if you guys saw, but Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz have called it quits. And they literally just had their movie, Blink Twice, which has been doing extremely well. So they have called off their engagement. And then Shaun White and, oh my gosh, I forget her name, but from Vampire Diaries, they just got engaged. So as one couple breaks up, another one gets together. Do you have any thoughts on the, Zoe Kravitz, Channing Tatum fiasco?
I saw where someone was like, she got him in this movie and then he leaves her. I don't know. The internet was really mad about it.
Did you see anything about that, Mom?
No, I didn't even realize they were dating when I was about to be married. So that's news to me.
Yeah, I didn't know either until they said that, until they broke up. So I was way behind too.
Oh yeah, no, I knew they were dating for a while because he's always he's been having a huge divorce legal battle with his ex-wife Jenna Dewan, I think is how you say her last name, and that's who he filmed Step Up with. They met on the set of Step Up, fell in love, got married, got divorced. So I had heard about that before.
He's a lot older than her too, isn't he?
I think so, because Zoe Kravitz, I feel like, is younger than us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep.
All right. Going into our recommended guest pick, which was Depravity. Is that how y'all would pronounce it too? Depravity?
Yeah.
I think I gave it. Yeah.
Okay. It was on, so it's not streaming anywhere for free, I realized. So you have to purchase this. It is on Apple TV. It is on, I think it's on Paramount for purchase too.
It's on Prime too.
It's on Prime for purchase as well. So the biggest star in this was Victoria Justice. And basically what this movie was about was suspecting their reclusive neighbor is a serial killer. 3 tenants in a building break into his apartment only to uncover a hidden fortune in stolen art. Their discovery soon turns into a living nightmare as they become ensnared in a sadistic game of survival where every corner hides a new horror. So I guess we'll start with you, Mom, of your notes, and then we'll go into some questions that we had that we want to discuss with you as well.
Okay, so basically they had everybody kind of looking weird with all this different looks, dogs and, dog collar chains and all this different things. So that was kind of edgy and a little different. Do we need to talk about different scenes, or could I have
it's up to you. We discuss whatever you want.
Yeah.
So there's scenes that stood out to you or discussions, we discuss whatever you want.
It was interesting that they planned out this whole thing because they suspected him of being a serial killer, and the whole point of breaking in the house was to get evidence. But when they broke into the house, they're opening up drawers with gloves on and all of this extra stuff, but they were not taking any pictures. They found all the pictures of these Polaroid pictures of girls. They found money, but they took pictures of no evidence. So the whole point was to get evidence, but they didn't take pictures. So I was like, what's wrong with this picture? And they knew he had a dog, and they didn't have any plan B, like if the dog was attacked with no pepper spray or nothing. So I'm like, what's going on? Are they amateurs? Or it just that's what I thought was kind of interesting.
That's a good observation. I didn't even peep that they were using gloves.
Yeah, they did for the drawer, but not for the money. So their fingerprints was all over the money, and they pulled out the drawer with the gloves, and then I'm like, why do you have the gloves on when you touch it? Have your hand all over the money? So
right,
I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought it was weird. Well, for one, I haven't seen Victoria Justice in anything since Victorious, so it was weird, seeing Tori Vega in sex scenes. But initially, wait, go ahead. Would you want to say something?
They were. I read that was her first sex scene. She hasn't done a sex scene till this film.
I didn't think.
And they were saying that people on Reddit felt like she looked very uncomfortable.
She probably was.
The sex scene didn't really flow with the movie anyway. They just stuck it in there. It's like she was terrified. Oh my God, don't go in there. We're going to get killed. Something's going to happen to us. Then all of a sudden doing a sex scine. That didn't flow.
Yeah, and that's what I said too. I said it really annoyed me because why would the law student think it'd be a good idea to break into someone's house? Like, out of all the people, the law student. Like, I
Should have
expected this
spoke.
from
Yeah.
the characters of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. This sounds like something that they would have done from that movie.
No, literally.
But not this group. I'm like, they're too grown. They literally all have careers. So why
But
are
the
they
girl was also an
running around?
adrenaline junkie, so she liked
True.
adrenaline type situations. So I think that might
True.
have been her vice or whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that with Shawnee on that though. Like, I could see this if these were like some teens that lived in the building and they were like curious. And I just cannot see 3 grown adults wanting to go on a scavenger hunt. Like, that to me just makes no sense. And to hit on the like sex scene part of it too, like, I thought it was so weird that like as they're doing it, she's literally seeing them drag his body. Like why wouldn't she say like stop? Like, I'm not like, you could clearly see that it was weird. But I was like, her facial expressions confused me. I didn't know if she was getting off on it or if she was like feeling bad about the whole thing.
I couldn't tell either. She probably
her facial expressions were very confusing.
She probably didn't know herself.
No, literally.
But did y'all realize that Dermot Mulroney's character, Mr. Evers, only had 1 line of dialogue in this entire film?
No, I didn't even realize that.
I didn't realize that either until I did a deep dive. But that says a lot about like the portrayal of his character in costume design, because like he really was giving creepy and scary the whole movie, but he only had 1 line the entire film.
You talking about the house they broke into?
Yeah, he was like had his head shaved
with a dog.
Oh,
and he's a big time actor too. He probably was like, "Look, I'll be in the movie, but I'm gonna die first, and y'all gonna get 2 lines out of me."
But yeah,
and that was also shocking. The people who died in the movie, that was very shocking.
Yeah, I didn't expect Victoria Justice to be the first.
People always survive, and the nerdy one's gone. The black cop is gone, but it was totally opposite of all of that. I was like, I never expected the guy and the cute girl to both die. That was like threw me off. So I was like, okay, that was different.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. That was odd.
How did y'all feel about Alex? Like, it seemed like he was he tried to kiss Aria at first, and then he ends up sleeping with.
Oh yeah.
I want to call her Victoria, but
yeah, I know what you're saying. Grace. Yeah, I thought that was weird too. Like, he was hitting on one girl, seeing how far he can go, and like, since she was a nerd, he figured that she would just throw herself at him, like, and she didn't. She was like, no, and she was just weird as far as what she was into. Period. Like, girls, guys, you just couldn't tell, and she was just always zoned out to me. Like when she was out there running in the rain, jogging in the rain with earphones in at night by herself, and there's a serial killer on the loose. I'm like, what's up? Like, I almost thought that she was the killer, that she was so comfortable out there at the time of night. So
you know what? Yep.
So maybe she's a killer. That's why she's so comfortable running out in the middle of the night, because she's a killer. So I don't know. I just thought that was strange too. But she had a different kind of character role.
Yeah. Did any of y'all expect her to be in on the whole thing?
I mean, they were trying to set it up by her saying that was her her major as an art curator. That's what she's studying, and that's what she's doing. And then all of a sudden, they're going into this place that she knows about art, and she knows what stuff is worth. But you know, what do I know about art and all of that? So it could have went over my head.
So you feel like there were blatant signs that she was in on it the whole time?
They were trying. I had a little bit of tinkling. I did.
Yeah. Okay. See, the only thing was once Grace was telling Alex that Aria had found her boyfriend with his slit throat, I knew that she was the one that had killed him. But I didn't assume she was associated with any of this other stuff. But as soon as she said, yeah, he slit his throat and Aria was the one to find him, I'm like, yeah, she slit that man's throat. But that was and I got.
Another thing that I saw too is they felt like they didn't kind of do a deeper dive on Alex, because I don't know if was the guy that was with Victoria Justice, was his name Alex?
Yes.
Okay. People felt like they didn't do enough deep dive on like his background, because like at the end of the movie, I mean, he clearly wanted the money. You know what I mean? We see him like he will not give up the money. He has gun to head. I'm telling you right now, I'm giving up the money. I don't, y'all can have it. Well, I guess he didn't really technically know where it was, but he still wasn't trying to point the direction to like throw the scent off him. And so I guess I just am a little bit curious more to his story, because, you know, we found out that like basically he loved football, but he had like this life-threatening thing that should have been fatal, but it wasn't fatal. But like he gets a kick out of like killing, like they were getting off on that. It was just very odd to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That maybe that's what his goal was, to make a lot of money, and then that got ended with the concussion problem with football. So that was his second chance to make this big money that he always wanted to make.
Yeah.
And
And then at the end, at the end, I was confused because, okay, did y'all see how, like, basically the cop came and they let down I don't know if it was a dumbwaiter or like the elevator, but like Alex's body rolls out. It looked like money rolled out with him.
It did.
So I'm like, how did Arya start this new life with a blonde wig? And like, she seemed like she was doing well for herself. Like
the art was worth more.
She had that big thing with the art inside that container, the circular container.
Oh, because I'm like, how did she get all, like, how did she, like, it seemed like she had owned her own like art studio. I was so confused. Like, girl, you didn't, where's the money coming from? The man died with the money.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
she sold the art and made it into, okay.
But then she still went to work. I mean, I guess the Louvre is a prestigious place to work, but she still went to work doing the same thing.
Yeah, but she got a different personality now. She's
yeah, like she had the blonde wig made it seem like she had some money.
Yeah, with them Nicole Kidman wigs.
No, literally. How did you guys feel about the film overall? Like, what would you guys give it? 1 to 10 or A to F?
I'll give it a 6.5. It was interesting. It kept you like, I usually doze off when things linger, so I didn't doze off. So it was interesting enough to keep watching and see what was next. And it was like a lot of surprise things that you didn't expect, especially the girl get shot right in the head, like, and and then the blonde guy getting shot, and then homeboy killing the girl that had a heavy accident where I couldn't hardly understand what she was saying. I was like,
Sasha.
Then shooting her, like those killing scenes was caught off guard. Like you did not expect that. So
she did too much talking. Like, why are you on top of Alex and just talk? Like, that was pissing me. Like, I would have been boom pow. Like, she was having a whole, like, literally, I had did something. I was like, and I came back to the phone. I'm like, she's still on top of this man rapping. Like, what?
Turning her on. That was turning her on to have him scared to death, and she's on top of it. Like, she probably like thinking, "Oh wow, this is getting me excited," kind of thing.
Made no damn sense. The last thing on my mind when I'm trying to get some money or whatever that is all of that. I'm not thinking about none of that. That was the weird thing here. Is like, it's like an underlying thing of like being turned on by murder, blood.
Yeah.
Just weirdness.
Yeah. But did they ever solve the case of those missing women, right? Or did I miss that?
No, not that I saw.
Okay.
So yeah, that's true. They never verified that it was definitely him that did the killing, and why he did the killing. Like, it was just a whole bunch of Polaroid photos in the back of the closet. So yeah, that was kind of weird how they had that as part of the summary of the movie, but don't explain was he really the killer or not.
Yeah, because I was very surprised, honestly, that they even killed him. Because like you said, the summary of the movie, it doesn't say that anyway. So when they killed him, I was like, oh, this definitely changes what I thought was going to happen.
Right. Some people also thought that it would have been better as a show. Do you guys feel like this would have been better as a series than a movie, or?
I don't know how much they could carry that on.
If anything, it would remind me of Only Murders in the Building. That
yeah, because that takes place in like an apartment complex, trying to like who done it, trying to figure it out, teaming up with the different people in the building to figure it out. Yeah,
it could give that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They would have to come up
series.
For that to be a show, they would have to bring a whole lot of people back to life. Like, almost everybody was killed. So
yeah, or it'd be like a limited series, 6 episodes, like just short and sweet kind of deal.
Yeah, a whole different scenario or different storyline. Okay, yeah, possibly. But yeah, it was.
Shawnee, what do you give it? Good. You thought it was good, Mom? A 6.5 is a 65%. That's a D.
No, I'm saying 1 through 10, Monty. That's it's almost a 7, and there's only 3 more after that. That's a 10. So I don't know about that. Okay. A D to me is like 3.
Okay. So it's like an IMDb rating, I guess, because if I see like 6.5, 7 on IMDb, I'd consider it.
Yeah.
And I guess 65% on Rotten Tomatoes, you'd probably think this could be decent. So you're right.
I'll definitely hit you with a 40 real quick.
What did you give it, Sonny?
Maybe I give it, I don't know, I'm torn because like I feel like it wasn't what I was expecting, and I feel like it's not really resolved.
Yes, a lot of open-ended questions. Yeah,
Right. But it did, like Mrs. Jeffrey said, it did have a lot of twists and things that caught me off guard and surprised me. So I'd probably give it about a 7.
okay.
I'll say 7.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's given that like C plus range to me. I would give it a 7. I thought, because I watched the trailer. So when my mom sent me the trailer, I felt like, how is this gonna go? Because they're already showing in the trailer kind of that like he dies to me. Like you could kind of infer that. So it's like now you're trying to figure out how could this even spin, because they kind of paint it like, okay, now they're coming back for that money. Like now that we've killed him, they're going to come back for this money. So they did a good job of like it not being predictable, which I think is what ruins movies, is if they give off too much in the trailer and then it becoming predictable. But to me, I couldn't predict it. And I didn't think that the two like characters were going to have like any kind of negativity around them, like any kind of self-centeredness, any of that. Like no part of me thought that they were going to be killing people. None of that. Like that wasn't on my radar at all. It was more so like, okay, all his friends keep coming to this building looking for this money. That's going to turn into something else. So they added a nice touch of that still being a part of it, but giving us those things that you guys discussed, like Alex taking out some people, Arya taking out some people, and in an intentional way, not like an accident, like
Right.
it was on purpose. So yeah, I thought it was good. I would recommend someone to watch it. I would sit there and watch it with them again. Like, I didn't think it was a terrible movie at all.
And warning for animal lovers, they do show him stabbing or doing something to the dog, killing the dog. So just
Not warning for the animal lovers.
Yeah, just give you fair warning on that.
Right.
Girl, there were so many other disturbing things that need warnings before I'm warning about that dog dying. Okay.
Because they look at things like babies and animals as innocent, like you shouldn't touch them, like kill them. So
yeah, no, I feel it. Before you sign off, is there anything else, Mom, you wanted to say about the movie?
No. Thank you so much for having me, and I enjoyed this session.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Mommy. We'll see you next time on the next thing you recommend.
Okay, take it easy.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, Shawnee. Bye.
Black.
I didn't know if it was going to actually knock her off or not.
Okay, so all right, we can keep it rolling then.
Yeah, we can keep it rolling.
All right, so what is next?
Moving into your pick of the week.
So my pick was Mr. Crocket, and that was playing on Hulu. I think it's a Hulu original. So a mother embarks on a perilous quest to rescue her son from a demonic children's show host who is kidnapping kids. This film is rated 63% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 5.4 out of 10 on IMDb. First and foremost, Major needed his ass whooped.
1000%. Just because your dad died does not give you the like chance to act out. You've lost your marbles.
And it confused me too, because I thought he actually was special needs, and I'm not saying this on any type of shade, because like they're at the funeral and he's acting like, I'm bored, like he's acting like he's not grasping the concept.
Okay.
But he's old enough to know, what I'm saying? Even if
right from wrong, for sure.
Or it might not have hit him, he still could have realized, So when he wasn't grasping, I'm like, something must not be all the way there with this little boy.
No, literally.
But secondly, Mr. Crocker definitely would have been at my house so quick if all it takes for him to show up is a bit of time and a little discipline.
No, that first thing would have been Mr. Crockett and my daddy. He would have been eating his ass up, okay?
As soon as I told Avery to get off that iPad, he'd been trying to come to the road crew. What? Literally.
No, literally. That is so funny. Oh my goodness. So Shawnee, when you picked this, I said, oh my God, Shawnee loves her bottom of the barrel bootleg ass horror films. I'm like, first, what was the one we watched, girl? It was on Hulu too.
And I was watching this. I said, Imani about to compare this to Angry Black Girl and Her Monster.
Yes.
We have got to support. We can't just watch.
We do, but it was filmed at the same studio. I was like, oh my gosh, like I liked the concept, but I think if they really would have put more money into it, I think it would have been better, because the concept to me was so bomb, but it was like we took a concept that happened back in the day and made it still back in the day and didn't give it like a 2020, like 2028 or 2024 kind of vibe. Like the things that were like on the dad, like it looked fake to me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, even like, you know, they're making these films these days with dolls and stuff. And yes, they're PG-13 so that the kids can watch it too. I feel like this could have still been scary while being more realistic. Like, I don't know, like they had like, cause they clearly were showing blood and you know what I mean? So like at that point, why not make the creatures real? Like it just looked like people in puppet suits playing these monsters. And I was just so very confused. And I also was confused because, like, let's be real, it's 2024. Nobody is watching Mr. Crocket. These kids love Coco Melon, and some of them even want to watch the big kid shows. Okay, they want to watch Disney and Nickelodeon.
That's what I was trying to figure out what time frame this was supposed to be in, because who has VCRs?
Yeah,
like,
it was just.
I was really confused. And what you said about the budget, like at least with Angry Girl and her Angry Black Girl and her Monster, I believe that was an independent. But this being a Hulu original.
Right.
Hulu. And this a Hulu show? I mean, Hulu, where's the money? Like,
yeah, they need to definitely give more of a budget. Because to me, like I said, I definitely liked this one better than Angry. Like, what is it called again? The Black Girl and Her Monster? Angry Black Girl and Her Monster?
Mm-hmm.
I liked this better than that. And I did see like Mr. Crocket was creepy. Like, don't get me wrong. He was very, very creepy. And this man not only was coming through TVs, but was creating portals out of closets and doors.
Yeah.
So it was definitely very like, I feel like it just could have been a little bit more scary. And I just feel like there were things that I've seen, even if you wanted to take this to back in the day, like, I don't know if you remember Disney Channel, but like, don't look under the bed. Like that joint used to have me shaking. So I'm just like, this was an opportunity and they kind of dropped the ball in that aspect of it.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I don't know if it had any surprises or really that was notable. I did realize that the Eddie character was Anthony as soon as they showed a grown light-skinned man. Like they show a missing little light-skinned boy, and then this grown light-skinned man comes out of nowhere. So I knew that I knew that was him, but I thought he was trying to get revenge on Mr. Crocket for kidnapping him.
Oh,
that's why I thought he was trying to help Summer. I think that was her name. But I had no idea like he was a Stockholm syndrome victim, basically. Like he only wanted to. I was
surprised Mr. Crocket turned on him like that. He was like, "Nah, something's wrong with you, boy. I don't want you. I don't want that energy up here in the playhouse."
Yeah. Mr. Crocket said he only want kids. He is aged
out.
No,
literally. And this man, Anthony, was ready to be the stepdad to them children or even the big brother. Like, he was more than ready and ready to ride. Like, let's find the lady that knows how to communicate with him. And she had all them damn TVs.
Yes.
So it had to be back in the day because all the TVs were very old. Like, you know, they were those boxy, like, big TVs from back in the day that I feel like
it was
we used to have and see.
Yeah, because I was really confused. Like nobody has VCRs and all these folks have VCRs. Like that didn't make sense. But yeah, it was okay. I just picked it because I didn't have time to watch another series. So it was like, let's do this one real quick, and it's around Halloween. But
right, our little Halloween contribution.
What would you rate it?
Y'all just gave what? Depravity 6.5. I can't give it that much. 5 out of 10.
And I've seen Mr. Crocket, the guy that plays Mr. Crocket, in something else, but I cannot put my finger on it. And even when I try to Google, I can't like it doesn't show anything I recognize.
Yeah, he has like that Richard Pryor look, so I don't know who he is, but he gives me the Richard Pryor vibe.
Yeah. You said he looked like your daddy.
That's what people tell my dad, that he looks like Richard Pryor. He'd be mad every time they say that.
Okay. All right. So let's move on into our next one, which I did enjoy.
Yes, I did enjoy, but it wasn't anything like I thought it was gonna be.
I stopped watching trailers or reading descriptions. I just started watching stuff. So
that's smart. I always like look at a trailer, and I don't read the description, but I will look at a trailer. So we watched Wolves, which is on Apple TV, and you can stream that for free. And it stars George Clooney and Brad Pitt. So that's really cool to me to have seen two big names together and like two big names working hand in hand throughout the whole film. So they are both hired to cover up a high-profile crime. But A fixer soon finds his night spiraling out of control when he's forced to work with an unexpected counterpart, which we see where basically a woman is in a hotel room. Somehow this young boy ends up in the hotel room. Mind you, this woman is married and has children. He's jumping on a bed, falls off, busts his head. He's bleeding. She calls a number that her dad gave her for like, if anything happens, call this number. And then the hotel calls a guy because it's like a brand new hotel and they don't want it attached to what has happened. What were your thoughts on this film, Shawnee?
Well, for one, I know we know black don't crack, but George and Brad, Lord have mercy.
No, literally.
At 63 and 60, like, they look good. Like, I don't think I'll ever complain about seeing them on my screen at all. And I think it's funny, like, at first in the film, they weren't fond of each other because it seemed like they were, like, encroaching on each other's territory. But eventually they become friends because they are essentially the same person. They literally are the same person.
No, they are. I just feel like Brad was a little bit more, like, less serious.
Yes.
Like, he's definitely more of like a play around kind of guy. But then you also see like George Clooney gave him back that energy when they're in the subway and he's like, is that blood on your sweater? And he's like, and then he's like, gives him the middle finger, which I thought was funny. But it's also like, there's no way this man was shot and just now noticing. Like, yes, adrenaline is crazy, but he wouldn't have walked to the subway, got on the subway, sitting on it. And then all of a sudden, like, once you point out blood on his sweater, be like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So another thing that I thought was weird though was just that it was crazy that like to me they did all of this just to like not do to not even kill this boy. Like my whole thing was one, why didn't nobody really check that this man was dead? That's number one. Number two, y'all are literally chasing this boy around town, taking him to doctors that y'all know. Followed this man into, it wasn't a bar mitzvah, but it was some type of party, or maybe it was a bar mitzvah. I'm not sure.
I think his daughter's wedding. The head.
Oh, was it? Okay. Bust into this party, get your hands on him, all to not kill this boy when like the main thing was, you guys are literally, to me, like assassins. Mm-hmm. Like, I know y'all have killed a little boy before. So to me, it was like y'all did all this running around, all this just getting shot at, shooting at others, getting hurt, all to let this boy walk around scot-free.
Yeah.
Which was really crazy to me. Like really, really crazy. Mm-hmm. Like all for what? Like it was very crazy.
Yeah. I was just waiting on it, but you could tell they were getting close. I think that was the most they've ever really had to talk to anybody. Like interact. I think that was
so they developed that conscious.
Yeah. Because I think normally it's like, all right, and pew, pew, and then it's over. But like, as the more they spent time with not only the, I don't want to say suspect, I don't know what you call him, the guy,
the target.
Oh yeah, the target. That's the word. So I think maybe that's what it was. What was I about to say to you? Oh, I know you like for films to have concrete endings. So how did you feel about this? How this ended? And do you think there'll be a sequel?
I actually liked it, how like it ended with like a shootout and then the title just comes back on the movie, because I like the way they connected to the dots, because like I said, I was like, this is so weird, like all this for what? And they like shot the cocaine, like a hole in the box of the cocaine after they have like a shootout with the Albanians. And, you know, they make it seem like Brad's like, okay, if you're not going to do it, I'll do it. And then they made it seem like they shot the little boy, but lo and behold, it's just a hole through was that coke? I don't know my drugs. Yes. Okay. Shot a hole through the coke.
And then he's just so you know, I don't know mine either. For the record, I just want to
you were all quick with it. Coke. I mean, please, I just remember from Dare, they went through all the drugs. I remembered what to stay away from. But yeah, I really enjoyed that, actually, like how they connected the dots at the end, because I was still very much confused too, because I just still didn't understand, like, even once the woman, like, it was very, like, I mean, I think it was meant to be a comedy, but to me, I also think we had to pay attention to the details. Like, you're not really going to have two people having an assassin and having like, it would be like, kill him and clean up both bodies.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was trying to figure out who, like, when they were like, such and such called you, and then the such was like, well, he called me, because I know that there was the woman from the hotel that called Brad.
Yeah.
And I don't really know who called well, I know the woman called George Clooney, and then the hotel called Brad, but I don't know who the guy is that they're referring to that basically set them up, basically saying that they were part of the cleanup, like they were supposed to both die, and that's why you hear the shootout at the end, and they're like, "Can you tell me your name?" And he was like, "We make it through this, I'll tell you my name." Do you know who that guy was that they were talking about?
No, and see, that's why the internet says that there will be a sequel, and I don't know how, but they're acting as if it's already confirmed. But I said it would be an act of God for them to make it through that shootout. But they're saying in the sequel, they think they're going to identify who set them up and that they're going to work together to kill him.
Oh, I mean, that would be I would watch. I mean, I'm intrigued.
Too. But I'm like,
I'm definitely intrigued.
Fight their way out. If they can make it through, they're going to have to really put something together to have them make it through.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they make it through, that's perfect. That's a perfect setup.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they had some things against them. So like I could see, but it would be kind of stupid to not have the whole building surrounded. But I guess if they're just from the front of I don't know if they were in a diner, restaurant, whatever you want to call it. Which I'm also confused by that too. Did we break into this diner? Why is there no other people?
Yeah.
Who waited on y'all? I didn't see a waitress come over and talk to you. A little bit confused by that. They were just sitting in the booth talking, and then of course I'm assuming they're going to get down while the bullets are flying. But I'm assuming, even if they do make it out, like you said, it's got to be an act of God, because you can't be dumb enough to not have the whole building surrounded. So I don't know, but I'm intrigued, and it's cinema, so like it's not always going to be realistic. Sometimes things are unrealistic, so that they can give us another.
I gotta remember that.
Another episode, or another movie. But I would be willing to watch. I do think that it went completely different than I thought it was going to be. Like, I didn't think that they were both called to do a cleanup and like at the same time. I thought it was more like they worked alongside each other, but they just like don't get along.
Right.
So it was a lot of good twists from the trailer. Like, I don't think the trailer gave away everything. I mean, it gives away a good chunk of the movie, that they're basically chasing down this boy most of the movie, and figuring out how to clean it up in the beginning of the movie. But yeah, I didn't think it was like too predictable or anything like that.
Not at all. I recommend it.
Yeah, I would recommend it too. So if you haven't seen it, it's on Apple TV. You can stream for free. And I'll let Ashana tell you guys what we are watching for our next episode, which is going to be a double feature, y'all. Because we know we've been behind. Life has been life, and we've both been like out on the road, coming back, tired, like just a lot of unpredictable factors. But we'll get a double feature.
All right, so next week we are watching Brothers, which is on Prime, and that is a movie. Grotesquerie season 1, episode 6 through 10, which is on Hulu. And then that was recommended by Paris. And then Them season 2, which is on Prime.
All right, as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.